Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Najma Sahar, Assistant Professor English, Government College of Technology, Multan. Today we are going to discuss with ChatGPT a hot issue related to our learning and developing our attitudes, the secret to building lasting habits. I would like to ask ChatGPT, please guide me on this topic. First of all, please define what is habit.
Of course, a habit is essentially a behavior or action that we perform regularly and often automatically, usually as a result of repeated practice. Over time, habits become almost automatic responses to certain cues or situations. They can be positive, like exercising regularly, or negative, like procrastinating. Essentially, habits shape our daily routines and play a huge role in our overall behavior and productivity.
Please explain how is it different from a routine or a goal.
Sure. While habits, routines, and goals are related, they have distinct differences. A habit is an automatic behavior that you perform with little conscious thought, often triggered by a specific cue. A routine, on the other hand, is a sequence of actions or behaviors that you consciously follow, often planned and repeated regularly, but they might not be automatic. A goal, meanwhile, is a specific target or outcome that you aim to achieve, and it often requires planning and effort. In essence, habits are the building blocks of routines, and routines can help you reach your goals.
What do you think that should people struggle for building good habits?
There are definitely a few common challenges. One big reason is that it often takes time for habits to become automatic, and people might get discouraged if they don't see immediate results. Another challenge is a lack of clear cues or triggers, making it harder to remember to perform the habit consistently. Sometimes people also struggle with motivation or willpower, especially when trying to break old habits or create new ones. Additionally, not having a supportive environment or accountability can make it harder to stick to good habits. All of these factors can contribute to the struggle, but with the right strategies and persistence, it's definitely possible to overcome them.
Please tell me how long does it take or should it take to make or develop good habits?
The time it takes to develop a good habit can vary quite a bit depending on the complexity of that. Sure, no problem at all. If you have any other questions or you'll need more details, just let me know. Mindset plays a crucial role in building habits because a growth-oriented mindset helps you stay resilient and open to learning from setbacks. When you believe that you can improve and adapt, you're more likely to persevere through challenges and stay consistent. On the flip side, a fixed mindset can lead to discouragement if you encounter obstacles. So cultivating a positive growth-focused mindset really supports the formation and maintenance of good habits.
How do our environment and surroundings influence our daily habits?
Our environment and surroundings have a huge impact on our habits because they can either support or hinder the behaviors we want to develop. For example, having a clutter-free workspace can help you focus better and reinforce productive habits, while an environment full of distractions can make it harder to stay on track. Similarly, social influences play a role. Being around people who support your goals can encourage positive habits, while negative influences can make it more challenging. So by intentionally shaping our environment to encourage the habits we want, we can make it much easier to maintain them.
What are the key points to adopt to follow to maintain habits in long term?
To maintain habits in the long term, a few key points really help. First, start small and build gradually so you don't overwhelm yourself. Consistency is crucial. So try to stick to the habit daily, even if it's just a small action. It's also helpful to track your progress, whether through a journal or an app, to keep yourself motivated. Another important factor is to celebrate small wins along the way, as this keeps you encouraged. It's also beneficial to have a support system, whether it's friends, family, or community, to keep you accountable. Finally, be flexible and willing to adjust as needed so you can adapt and keep the habit sustainable.
Please guide me on a related question. How can someone remain consistent if the motivation fades?
That's a great question. When motivation fades, it's helpful to rely on discipline and routines rather than just motivation. One way to do this is to set clear and achievable goals and break them down into smaller, manageable steps. It also helps to build habits into your daily schedule so that they become second nature. Another strategy is to create accountability, whether through a friend, a mentor, or even a community to keep you on track. It's also useful to remind yourself of the bigger purpose behind the habit so that even when motivation dips, you still have that intrinsic. Absolutely. Focusing on manageable steps is often more effective because it makes the habit feel less overwhelming and more achievable. When you break down a larger goal into smaller incremental actions, it's easier to stay consistent and build momentum. Plus, celebrating those small wins along the way can boost your motivation and confidence. Over time, these small steps compound and lead to significant progress. It also helps to build confidence and keep you motivated in the long run. So focusing on manageable steps really is a powerful approach.
How can tracking progress help in maintaining a new habit?
Tracking progress is really beneficial because it provides tangible evidence of the effort you're putting in, which can boost your motivation and keep you accountable. It helps you see your progress over time, making it easier to stay committed. It also allows you to identify patterns, understand what's working well, and pinpoint areas for improvement. Plus, seeing consistent progress, even if it's small, can reinforce your commitment and help you stay motivated in the long run.
What are the common mistakes people commit while developing or maintaining habits?
There are definitely a few common mistakes. One big one is trying to make too many changes at once, which can be overwhelming and lead to burnout. Another mistake is setting goals that are too vague or unrealistic, making it hard to measure progress or stay motivated. People also sometimes neglect to create a supportive environment, which can make it harder to maintain the habit. Another common pitfall is not being patient enough. Habits take time to form, so expecting quick results can lead to frustration. Finally,
Please tell me, how does self-discipline differ from motivation when it comes to habit formation?
absolutely. Motivation is often that initial spark of enthusiasm that drives you to start a new habit. It can be influenced by emotions, inspiration, or external factors. However, motivation tends to fluctuate and it can fade over time. On the other hand, self-discipline is more about consistency and willpower. It's what keeps you going even when motivation dips. Self-discipline helps you stick to your habits out of commitment and routine even when you don't feel like it. Essentially, motivation gets you started, but self-discipline keeps you.
How can building lasting habits lead to personal growth and long-term success?
Building lasting habits really lays the foundation for personal growth and long-term success because over time, these habits compound and lead to meaningful progress. When you consistently engage in positive behaviors, you build skills, confidence, and resilience. This steady improvement not only enhances your abilities, but also helps you adapt to challenges and seize opportunities. Ultimately, these habits create a strong, positive cycle of growth that leads to lasting success in both personal and professional realms.
I would like to ask you the final question related to my topic. How can we replace bad habits with good ones?
That's a great question. One effective approach is to identify the underlying trigger or cue for the bad habit and then replace the behavior with a positive alternative that satisfies the same need. It's also helpful to start small and gradually build up the new habit so it doesn't feel overwhelming. Another key is to make the new habit as rewarding and enjoyable as possible so you're more likely to stick with it. Additionally, replacing a bad habit is often more successful when you have a support system and when you're patient and can't yourself through the process. Over time, these positive changes really reinforce each other and help you build healthy habits.
Thanks very much, ChatGPT, for your valuable input and the practicable your advices that we should follow to develop and maintain good habits. We'll talk on further topics in future. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help, and I look forward to chatting about more topics in the future. Don't hesitate to reach out anytime. Thanks again, and take care.